Hi there. In this video, I want to show you something that solves a very real problem if you are using TradingView together with the GEX levels, especially if you are trading intraday or working with 0DT setups. My name is Gary Nagy and I'm the Chief Options Expert at TanukiTrade. You probably already noticed that the TradingView itself has a refresh limitations. By default, the GEX levels inside the indicator update only a few times per day, specifically 5 times during the trading day. And honestly, that's just fine for swing trading and higher time frame analysis. But once you start trading short-term structures like 0DT or intraday trading, especially later in the session, market positioning can change a lot faster than the update cycle. These gamma levels shifts HVL move, and suddenly you might realize that you are looking at a structure that might be hours old. At the same time, here inside the TanukiTrade web app, the GEX live charting recalculates structure continuously. So the goal here wasn't to replace TradingView, because most of us like the TradingView workflow, but to give you a way to inject fresh structure into your existing chart whenever you want it. So what we introduced here is called the manual override mode. The idea is pretty simple. Instead of waiting for TradingView to refresh automatically, you can just copy the latest GEX structure and paste it directly into the indicator in TradingView. The script always checks the timestamps automatically and decides which dataset is newer, so you don't need to think about whether you are overwriting something incorrectly or not. From your perspective, it just means that the chart updates immediately with fresh GEX data. Now let's talk about how you actually copy the data, because this is where the workflow becomes really powerful. There are basically 2 ways to think about it depending on how you trade. If you are focused on a specific underlying, let's say, for example, SPX, you can copy the entire GEX structure for that symbol in one step. You don't need to go expiration by expiration or manually select anything. One click will copy all the relevant expiries, and once you paste that into TradingView, your structure is fully updated. But for intraday traders, the second workflow is often more useful if you are trading with several instruments. Instead of copying just one symbol at a time, you can choose a specific expiration, for example, the nearest or 0DT expiry, and then you can copy that across every single symbol at once that we support. So, for example, if you are monitoring the very first expiration across multiple markets, you can update everything with one single action. No repetition, no switching between charts, just one copy and you are done. And you can copy as many times as you want. And as you already know, our GEX live charting application refreshes data every single minute. So let's see inside the web app in the GEX charting view how it's done. If you want to copy the entire SPX structure, you click here. And by default, it's set only SPX, but every GEX data. You click here, and this little tooltip will show you that the levels are copied to the clipboard. You go to TradingView and click here, right-click, Settings, and here you will find a new section, Manual Override Mode, Paste GEX Levels to Override Daily 5 times Auto Update. And here you just paste the data that you already copied and click OK. If you click OK and TradingView reads the data, it will give you this kind of, I try to zoom in more that you can see it better, that you will see this kind of small icon in here that says the copy is there, the data is overwritten. So if you see these icons before the HVL line or HVL text, you see that the manual override is active. If you hover over the HVL, it will show you that manual override active and using the levels that were copied from the GEX Live application. And since I copied the whole structure from SPX, if I change this expiration to, for example, second monthly, it will also show me the overwritten data, the manual override. And these icons are the status icons that tells you the data and how the data is updated, active or not active, or the status of the data. And this is important to understand that behind the scenes, the script compares always the pasted structure with the current chart context. It checks the symbol, the expiration, and the calculation type. And you also see a small status indicator, these indicators, in here telling you whether the override data is active, outdated, or there is no matching structure. Right now what you can see with this little icon that says it's active, but for example, if I want to test if it's outdated, I will go here and override this number, which is a timestamp. And with this, you will see another icon in here, which tells you that the overwritten structure is there. But if you hover over it, you will see that the manual refresh found, but outdated, because it was copied before then the previous automatic update was done. So that's an outdated data with this icon. And the third status is when there is no matching structure that I will show you later on. Now let's go back to the GEX live chart and see how else I can copy the data. As I previously mentioned, what if I want to copy all the first weekly or monthly expiration for all the symbols? Then I click here for February 20th, which is currently the first weekly and the first monthly itself. I click here and I select every symbol but first weekly or but first monthly only. Let's select the every symbol but first monthly only, and then click on the copy button. And if I go back to SPX and settings, I delete the previously copied data and I copy the new one or paste the new one in here. And it will show me the first monthly expiration for every single symbol. And here comes the third status, which shows you no matching data. And if you hover over it again, it will tell you no match for current selection. Why? Because I selected here in the GEX Live application the first weekly or the first monthly. And what I would like to display here is the second monthly, the 20th of March. But I selected the 20th of February. But with this kind of copy and selection, what I did is I copied the first monthly expiration for every single ticker we have in TanukiTrade. So if I select it to first monthly, again, the check mark is here. It's telling you that it's active. And if I select, for example, I don't know, like Intel, it will also show you the first monthly updated GEX data with a check mark because I copied all and every single ticker's first monthly expiration GEX data into the TradingView. So if you are, for example, trading only with the first weekly expiration with many stocks, it's enough to copy it once for every single symbol. But for example, if you are not trading for a half an hour, you can come back and click on it again, copy the data again, go back to Intel or whichever you want to see, settings, delete the previous one, copy the new one, and that specific expiration will be updated. So for example, if I go to Amazon for the first monthly expiration, it will also show us the 20th of February with a check mark that there is a manual override. So this is a way you can copy very easily all and every ticker's specific expiration. There's another use case, for example, if you are a swing trader and if you are only interested with every expiry for all the stocks, you click here, every expiry, and here, every symbol but furthest only, and then you copy, go back to Amazon chart and settings, again, delete the previously copied one, paste the new one, and then you will see no matching structure. Why? Because it's not selected for every expiry. You go back to settings, you go to every expiry, and then you will see every expiry data for Amazon and for whatever, Intel and the rest you want to check. These are the every expiry data updated manually during the day if you want to update them. So if you stick with these settings because this is the one you are only using, you just leave it like that. Every symbol, click on this icon, and then you can copy and paste the data to TradingView directly whenever you want during the day, because the data you see here, again, is updated every single minute. Another use case would be if you are trading intraday or 0 DTE. I generally recommend focusing on first expiry because that's where gamma sensitivity is the strongest. As I previously mentioned, the swing traders might prefer every expiry or the optimal monthly structure because it will give you a broader context in terms of the full hedging picture. So this was the first way how you can copy data from our GEX Live TradingView application. The other one is the Discord server. If you are more of a technical person, you can use the GEXBot Pro channel in here in our Discord. If you start to type help and click in here, you will see all the help functions in the GEXBot Pro channel. And these are the new commands that we introduced, the levels. Here you can find all the commands that can be used for this kind of copy. If you, for example, say levels SPX and enter, it will give you a string that you can copy. If you click here 3 times on this line, you can select the whole line and copy and go back to Intel or SPX right now because I selected SPX. And you can do the same exactly that we did previously. You go here, delete, copy again, and that's it. So using our Discord bot, you can also generate these levels anytime you want during the day. And let's say you want to have all the first monthly expirations, then you would say levels M1, and it will show you all the data in here. And if you click 3 times on this line, it will be selected and then copy and paste again. If you are like a futures trader, you can do levels ES1 and it will copy the data for ES that is matched by SPX, and you do the same, select the line and copy and paste the data to TradingView. And once again, if you are lost with the commands, you can say help, click here, and it will show you all the commands regarding the levels that we introduced in here. So for example, if you're a 0DT trader, you say levels 0, and it will get you all the data regarding every single ticker with the nearest expiration. So these are the 2 general ways you can copy data from our applications. One is using the GEX Live TradingView inside the web app, and the other one is the GEXBot Pro channel in the Discord server. So the main idea with this development is not to change how you use TradingView, but to remove the delay between the real-time GEX data and your chart. You keep your workflow, but you gain control over when the structure updates. And for active traders, that makes a big, big difference. So with this little tutorial, I hope that I helped how to use the new development and new functionality. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for your attention. Take care. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and check out our other videos. You can always find us at the links in the description. Trade safe out there.